the backwards are not on the answer key. I just added them for you guys, so I haven't updated my answer key yet. So let's go to 23 just to make sure we're all on the same page, okay? Follow along, write down, check if you did this right. You buy a house worth $225,000. Page 23. Determine the mortgage amount, how much you need to borrow. So that's essentially just taking away the down payment. And that ends up being $183,000. That is your quote-unquote loan, right? So this is the how much we're borrowing. The monthly mortgage payment, if they don't give you the table rate, you need a table, okay? So to figure out the payment, we just take the $183,000 in this case. We multiply it by a number divided by 1,000. So we get that from this yellow table. So we need to match 20 years with 3.5%. Okay, so it's $579. That's the value there. So it's $5.79 for every $1,000 that you borrow. That's how you translate that. When you divide it and multiply it by 183, you get $1,059.57. Okay, I'm just using the formulas that I gave you on the previous page. Next, the total amount paid to the bank over the life of the mortgage. I call that total paid to the bank like this. You take your payment, because remember, you're going to make this payment every month for 20 years. You multiply that by 12, and we multiply that by 20 years. Okay, so that's how you get the total amount paid to the bank. It's $254,296. If this amount isn't bigger than what you borrowed, you're not borrowing from a bank, you're borrowing from mom or dad. They don't charge you any interest and it's fine. But, right, you 183, 254, we can clearly tell that we're paying back more than what we got, and that is the interest that they're earning, okay? So just to make sure you understand that. The first month's worth of interest, that's this formula right here, where you take your mortgage, you go interest rate divided by 100, all of that divided by 12. So I'll give you a variation in a bit of this formula. So we have our mortgage, which is $183,000. Interest rate divided by 100 is 0.035. All of that gets divided by 12. So that is $533.75. Okay, $533.75. Find the principal paid on the first month. Principal is taking your payment, subtracting the interest you've paid that month. And we already know that it's $533. So we know that our payment is this. Okay? We subtract $533.75, and we're left with $525.82. Beautiful, right there. So we paid about the same interest as we're paying principal. Calculate the total paid in interest over the life of the mortgage. That's the longest one. That's usually worth 2 marks. Total interest. We take the payment. We multiply it by the months. Oh, by 12. It's always 12. We multiply it by years. We subtract the mortgage from it. So it's essentially you're going to be like, how much did I pay the bank? How much did they give me at the beginning? And that difference is your interest. So it's $1,059.57 times 12 times 20 minus $183,000. Don't use the house price. A lot of students use the house price here. It's the actual mortgage, how much you borrowed. This we already know. We did this in B and C, right? 254, 296, 80 minus 183. And we have 269,169. Okay. Gonna have to work on the 6/7 a bit more. This would have been easily done. So there we go. That's how you do just a basic. I'm just gonna tell you an exam question just has like 1 or 2 questions in general. Okay. And so let's go to 24. That's new to you. I haven't done this yet. So let's go to 24, the bottom of 24. I'm going to highlight this whole thing because some of you might have to have this on your study sheet. And the reason I'm skipping the advantage of owning and disadvantage of owning is because we kind of talked about that already. I might just bring it back briefly. I'm just going to let you see some points there. Okay, interest paid on the first month is $1,500. The interest rate is 5%. Calculate the mortgage amount. Backwards means we have to do some algebra to go the other way. So the formula we're talking about is this one. Mortgage times interest rate divided by 100, all of that divided by 12. So that's what I'm going to start off with. But notice that this part right here, interest in the first month, that is I. That is the interest. That's how much you paid. You don't have to calculate it. You already know what it is. So I'm going to go 1,500 there. Mortgage is my unknown. I'm going to just call that M, capital M. The interest rate divided by 100 is what? 5 divided by 100 is 0.05. All of this gets divided by 12. Now watch what I do here. Divided by 12. I find it is better in this case to just go ahead and put the 12 under, because that's what you're doing, you're dividing. And now you got to do inverse operations. You got to perform inverse operations. So basically we want to get rid of all the numbers that surround M. So the first step is, I'm going to use a red pen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm multiplying this entire side by 12. And I'm going to do the same thing for this side. And the only reason that I'm doing that is so I can cancel out this 12 with that 12 there. That's the main reason I'm doing that. So you basically got to go 12 times 1,500 on the other side, on the left side. So that's 18,000. Okay? I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to continue my work here. 18,000 is equal to M times 0.05. What do I need to do to the side where M is to get rid of this? It's multiplying right now, so I need to divide. I need to do the opposite. So divide 0.05, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. You've got siblings, you know how this works, right? If one sibling gets $10, better everybody gets $10, or else there's going to be some serious fighting going on. There you go. 360,000. So $360,000 is the mortgage you're looking at here. Let me just, I'm just going to tell you for for question 2, if you want to try that one, I'll tell you what that is. It's a big number. You ready for this? It's 1,971,649.49 cents. That is the mortgage amount. It's happening actually in Winnipeg more often than you think. There's very expensive houses that are being sold. And sometimes just a big apartment block or like bigger buildings, they cost millions, right? 3, calculate the principal paid on the first month. On the first month's payment based on this. You'd have to figure out the payment first. So maybe I'll just say omit. This is a challenge. And I cannot give you the answer right now. But you'd have to, based on this mortgage here, you'd have to figure out what the monthly payment is. Once you have the monthly payment, you can subtract the interest from the monthly payment, and then you get your principal. I right now cannot tell you what the answer is. So if you're interested, or if you want to give me the answer, I'll take it from you. I appreciate that. I'll just give you a few pointers. Top of 24, the advantages and disadvantages of owning. Here it is. This is a good one. So an advantage of owning a home, if you want to write some of these down, I mean, you should have them already, but you build equity. The value of your home increases. You can renovate as you wish. You may own pets. You can stay as long as you want. Payment does not increase every year. Equity is the big one here. If you own, then you build equity. Like you actually, the amount of value in the home grows, and so does your equity. If you want to talk about disadvantages of owning, you're responsible for maintenance and major repairs. So roof replacement. I replaced my roof, what was it, 4 years ago? $15,000. I could buy a car with that. Instead, I had to go and repair the roof. The furnace. I replaced my furnace a couple years ago, $5,000. Right there. The water heater. If you like hot water to shower, there's a water heater somewhere in the basement that heats that thing. If it starts leaking, you need to replace it, or else you'll have a flooded basement, right? So when you are owning, it's nice, but there's a lot of expenses that come with it. You need to pay for the utilities. It is more difficult to move out or to move in general, and you pay for property taxes. Just a few, there's more. But now you have, again, I've given you a list of things to have on your study sheet.